Hey people, welcome to the channel. It is Saturday morning. It's just before 7 o'clock. It's going to be a beautiful day. I'm just clipping along through West London here on the Goldhawk Road near Shepherd's Bush, heading up to lead a run club in Hyde Park for Saturday morning called the Nedao Sun Chasers, a new club, and they've asked me to lead their very first run, so we're going to go and do that. Keep an eye out on the channel because I'll tell you when other runs are happening. You can all come and join if you would like. But anyway, a lot of you have been asking me how my Comrades Recovery has been going and what is next on the plan. So in this video I'm just going to give you a little update. It's about 3 weeks after the Comrades, how it's going, and then we'll talk a little bit about the adventures about to come. How do you recover from the Comrades up run then? Well, first thing to note, everyone will tell you the recovery from the up run is easier than the recovery from the down run. Your quads are not quite smashed up, and the next day you can move more freely. It's been about 3 weeks, we're coming up to 3 weeks since the race. That first week I actually did a little 2 mile easy along North Beach 2 days after the race, and I could move surprisingly well from that. But after that I basically just left the rest of the week, had a whole week off, so that was probably my lowest mileage week of the whole year. Just did 2 miles that week. Following week I ramped up a little bit to 21 miles, spread out over 4 runs I think, all of them really nice and easy. And this week I'm kind of back just trying to get into building up the mileage. I've done an 8 miler and today I'll end up doing 10 plus miles. Done a few shorter kind of interval sessions, a bit of faster stuff thrown in, but paying close attention to the body. I just felt like I needed to stretch those limbs a bit and put in a little bit, you know, like some strides or whatever, that kind of stuff, just to feel like I was loosening off a little bit. I mean, after the runs and races that I've put in so far this year, everything I will admit is feeling a little bit creaky. So my hips on both sides just aren't entirely happy, and I've got a little bit of pain on my right shin. Doesn't tend to happen whilst I'm running, but when I'm back on the sofa it seems to kick in the evening. A little bit sort of almost like a burning discomfort there, so I'm just managing that really carefully and just keeping an eye on it. I don't want to push it. I've got about 48 days to go until I have to take on the Berlin Wall 100. In between then I'm going to go to the Danube and do a 45 mile over 3 day on the Danube bends, the most beautiful bit. So this week is all about just getting moving again and trying to get the legs feeling free. In terms of my physical fitness, conditioning, as you'd expect, is still right up there. I'm moving well, I'm moving at good pace with low heart rate, and while I've probably lost that kind of top end speed a bit from the Manchester Marathon earlier in the year, I am still feeling strong, and I don't think it'll take a lot to get that back. And to boost my recovery, I'm basically doing, you know, those classic things that everyone should do. Prioritise sleep, easy movement. I've been in the pool doing quite a lot of stretching and kind of jogging in the water, but I find if I do my mobility exercises whilst I'm in the water, it really helps because I'm not really flexible, but it just makes it a little bit lower impact. I get a little bit more support from the water, and yeah, that's basically what I've been doing for 3 weeks. It's starting to feel a bit more human. I just need to get these creaks and groans to go away, and we'll start looking at building in a few much longer runs in a bid to get ready for Berlin. Now, Berlin, what is the training plan? 49 days to go. Obviously last year I think I got to around 67 something like that miles and had to stop. I felt strong. I think I've been running for 16 hours and I still felt strong when I had to stop. It was the toe that was the problem. That is still going to be my problem, I think, and I'm working to try and fix that for the toe spacers. Still looking at different ways to wrap the toes, see if I can make them feel more comfortable. Looking at which shoes I'm going to run in with a wide toe box. The On Cloud Monster Hyper could be the shoe because they're very, very, very roomy. They did me really well on that 55 miler. Beyond that, I'm not following a structured training plan for this. I didn't do that last year either, and maybe that's a mistake, but primarily when you're going to go 100 miles it's just all about the brain. I've obviously done 55, I've moved for 9 hours at the Comrades up hills, done quite a lot of sort of 30 milers in the build up to that. So yeah, I think the plan really is just I want my body to feel fresh. I want to tick over at maybe kind of 50-mile weeks, and then throw in a few hefty runs in there as well in the weeks leading up, probably sooner rather than later, just as soon as my body feels good enough. I might send it long, and I might be thinking about doing another 50 or another 60. And there's one thing that I have a hunch that might work, and this is going to sound slightly crazy, but I learned this on the Danube. In those first few days, my feet were mashed. You know, the little toes were busted up from doing 45 miles long hours on feet. And then what happens after they break down, the skin goes quite hard. And when that skin gets hard, it becomes more resilient, and it's stronger, and it toughens up, and then you have less of a problem. So I'm thinking if I break my toes first, and then I add in the miles to do that, that maybe by the time I get to the start line of that 100, it's going to be more resilient, stronger. It's going to help me have toes that are all tough and gnarly and have been through the wars and healed themselves, and maybe then I won't suffer so much, because that, I think, is going to be the limiting factor for the 100. It's whether or not I can manage those toes and get through it.